Only 3 days to go until Stranger Things Season 5, and we were blessed with a Volume 1 trailer.
I got it!
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I've got a breakdown of the Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 1 trailer that dropped earlier today. Lots of good stuff to talk about, some recycled footage, some new footage, and a lot of character speaking lines, which excites me greatly. But before we get into this, hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts, your analysis of this Volume 1 trailer, as well as your predictions based on everything we see here, and of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And if you want extra content from the world of Stranger Things and beyond, with live Q&As to a deep dive into every episode of the show called Stranger Things Rewind, Patreon is the place to be. We have the final episode of Stranger Things Rewind releasing in a couple days, just in time for the Season 5 premiere. And if you haven't heard by now, film-stocked merch has arrived. I'm representing some right now. You can see it's film-stocked upside down with the Mind Flayer and See on the other side. This is in collaboration with Firefly Shop. She did an incredible job putting together this design. You can actually get your own at Firefly Shop in the description and in the pinned comment. Go over there, stock up on some merch heading into Season 5. You can get this design. It's embroidered on a crew neck. It's real nice. I represent her designs in all my videos, so be sure to get some other Stranger Things stuff while you're over there. And you can also get a t-shirt version with the design printed on the shirt. I love the embroidery though, so I'm a big fan of this crew neck, especially with the colder weather on the way. But without further ado, I'm gonna break down this Volume 1 trailer, so get ready. The trailer opens with streetlights flickering all down the road as we then see Steve and Dustin camping out in Steve's car. Dustin says this is gonna work, to which Steve responds, yeah, it better work. It's not like we're conspicuous or anything. They both then look up to the roof of his car to reveal the antenna coming out of the top. Now, if I had to guess, they're posted up somewhere near the Wheeler house, Lucas's house, or Dustin's house. That street looks very similar to all the streets we've seen the kids biking around in seasons past, whether it be Maple Street or even walking around in the streets of Loch Nora. It could also be a new street in one of the Hawkins neighborhoods, but the important detail here is the street lights flickering. What exactly does this signify? Well, it could mean a couple of different things.
Not like we're conspicuous or anything.
For starters, the antenna could be used to relay a signal to lure out Vecna and or the Demogorgons in order to harm or kill them, especially if you factor in the weakened barrier between the upside down and the right side up at the end of Season 4. This could be a part of their plan that they hope works, as we have also seen the WSQK, the squawk van with an antenna on top of it in past footage. If you'll remember in the teaser, Steve was seen in the van adjusting the decibels or volume, so perhaps they developed an interconnected set of signals that they can relay from antenna to antenna used to damage the demos and Vecna. The reason the lights could be flickering is that the signal's working, and they've actually reached the upside down, where Demogorgons are running down the street that Dustin and Steve are parked on, just in the upside down, and they're making their way to a gate to attack in the right side up. Just a little theory. Another route they could take is that Steve and Dustin are communicating with Ellen Hopper, who we know are in the upside down, and this antenna has created a radio wave signal that can reach there. Hence, the flickering lights are them responding or moving around in the same location as them in the upside down. Whatever's going on, the flickering lights show that either movement is happening in the upside down or activity with a gate or gates slash the hive mind is occurring. We'll know exactly what's going on in 3 days, so I'm not too worried about it. The next shot is of the WSQK van pulling up at the radio station, where we get a shot of Steve getting out along with Dustin, who's been beat up as he's bruises on his face, and another character whose white shoes and jeans are seen. It probably makes the most sense for this to be Robin, as we know Steve and Robin are going to be working at the radio station based on merch drops. And on top of that, Joyce's car is already there, so her and Will are likely here. On top of that, Jonathan and Nancy probably came with. We also have seen footage of Mike and Lucas riding their bikes away from the WSQK radio station, so this just lines up to be Robin here. A Mike voiceover then begins as he says, "We have a plan. It's a bit insane," as we see Mike and Lucas standing in the halls of Hawkins Middle School, not Hawkins High School, as evidenced by the blue lines painted on the wall. This likely means to me they're talking to Erica, and I'll explain why later in this video. We also know in the back of this shot there's a Jane Hopper missing poster on the door, because that's seen in the behind the scenes teaser from July 2024 in this same exact location. We then see a quick reused shot of Ellen Hopper in the military base with flickering lights. Robin then gets to speak as she says, yeah, what could go wrong, as we see her sitting in the van next to Mike. A rare moment between these two characters who I feel like have hardly ever interacted in the entire series. Dustin then says, no idea, but I think we should find out. And he's standing between Jonathan and Nancy as as Jonathan is shining a flashlight on what could be a map or perhaps blueprints of Hawkins' lab, as we know these characters are going to be there at some point in the Upside Down this season. There's also a window behind them that could be a stained glass window, which we know are seen in churches. Well, this trio has been spotted outside of that new church setting in the One Last Adventure video that dropped in September, so perhaps this is where they are. It's worth noting that these 3 lines from Mike, Robin, and Dustin are not consecutive. Like, this isn't a conversation happening between them. They've just been edited together in the trailer to sound like one continuous conversation, but they're really just different moments throughout the season. Now things are heating up as we head over to the military base in downtown Hawkins, likely preceding the massacre at the hands of Demogorgons. But we see a bunch of soldiers walking around slowly with their weapons drawn, and I have to say there's one guy dressed in different attire than everyone else. He's wielding a pistol as opposed to everyone else who's wielding a rifle, and you can't really make out who he is because of the flashing lights and the hat covering part of his face, but he could be Colonel Sullivan from season 4. It would make a lot of sense for Sullivan to be here based on where his character ended in season 4. This could be a way to bring his character to a close, getting killed by Demogorgons. I think it would be pretty satisfying. But I tried to zoom in on the uniform, see if I could make out any military patches or ranks logos, but I could not find anything. So we'll have to see if this is Sullivan or if he's just elsewhere. And in this shot, we can see Derek and Mike just out of frame, so they're supposed to be protected by the military, you would think. Who knows how well that's going to work out. And in the way back, you can actually see Hopper's truck, if that is in fact still Hopper's truck. As we know, Hawkins still believes him to be dead to our knowledge, and there's a new chief of police with Powell, so we'll see whose truck that really is, but I'm thinking it's Hopper. Because it would make a lot of sense for him to be there, as we have seen him and Elle at the military base already in lots of footage. The shot of the Demogorgon popping out of the panel on the ground is then shown with a close-up on it roaring, and you can actually spot Melvold's general store in the background. That's going to be in the background of a lot of the chaos here. Carnage is certainly coming to the military base. We then see the OG party putting their hands in the middle to break it down for one last adventure or final mission, as Mike says, "Everyone in?" Lucas is the first to put his hand down, then Will grins on as he adds his hand to the pile, with Dustin being the last to do it, but it's not until he drops maybe the coldest line we've heard in all of Stranger Things.
I want to see Vecna's heart on a platter.
This man is out for blood and vengeance for Eddie's death this season, as he wants to hunt and kill Vecna. It's worth noting this is pre-getting beat up for Dustin, so it makes sense for this to be in episode 1. And then we get him going to Eddie's grave after this moment, maybe to tell Eddie, hey, here's our plan to go kill Vecna, keeping up that relationship from beyond the grave, going and paying his respects to Eddie, but also just talking with him as a way of grieving. And when he's at Eddie's grave, that's where he's going to get beat up by some bullies and jocks, which is so messed up and frankly devastating to think about. I hate that Dustin's gonna have to go through some hell this season, but it is what it is, I guess. We then get another shot of that damn wall in the Upside Down, which we still don't know anything about, but I'm rocking with it being either the border of the Upside Down lining up with the border of Hawkins, or the barrier between Dimension X and Hawkins. And we've actually seen in one of those spots going around online from an official Netflix account that Elle has looked at this wall in the footage and said, what is that? So maybe answers will come regarding Upside Down lore in Volume 1 much earlier than anticipated, and I'm kind of here for it. Next up, let's face it, a certain someone is cooked. We see not 1, not 2, but 3 Demogorgons busting out of gates in the ground right outside of the WSQK radio station. Now we know there's going to be tunnel access at the radio station, so to me the tunnels have been almost reactivated and the Demogorgons are breaking out of them all around Hawkins. But who have we seen at the WSQK radio station when these gates are opening? Robin and Murray. The next shot in the trailer is 3 Demogorgons chasing after Robin and Murray as they drive the Bradley's Big Buy truck, and those Demogorgons are quickly making their way up to the front driver's seat of that truck. Robin says, what the hell just happened? To which Murray responds, I have no idea, but I love it, and starts to laugh like a madman. And I hate to say this, because the character is a delight, and he brings a lot of much needed comedic joy to the show, but his time has come. He's a dead man walking, let's call it what it is. And I honestly won't be shocked if these are his final moments. Like, he could get yoinked by a Demogorgon out of the driver's seat, launched, and killed, and his final moments could be very Polka Dot Man in 2021's The Suicide Squad. I don't know why my mind went to that comparison, but there you go. Jonathan and Nancy are then shown behind a bar, with Nancy packing heat as always, and Jonathan with a flare. We've actually seen them behind this bar in the One Last Adventure video in September, and the architecture definitely matches with this house that we've seen the gang in while Steve is rocking a chainsaw, so this could very well be some sort of new location. But you can tell the lights are flickering, Demogorgons are likely about to attack, and they're gonna have to defend themselves. Will then says he knows where we are, and you can tell he's in the barn where the Demogorgon is gonna break through as Joyce wields an axe, but if Will is not actively serving as a spy in this moment, how does Vecna and or the Mind Flayer know where everyone is?
Found you.
Well, in this show, Vecna has certainly shown moments of omnipotence, as he even tells Nancy in season 4 that he saw her and Robin go and visit Victor at Penhurst. But we don't have a concrete explanation as for how Vecna knows where people are on the right side up, and how he can keep tabs on everyone without a spy. He could be going full Cerebro from X-Men mode, just like how we see in season 4 when he's hunting or searching for victims through their trauma. And we know Will can sense when Vecna's around, so perhaps it's just that. Just like how Will can sense Vecna, the same is true of Vecna for Will and all of his friends. I'm sure all this will be answered and revealed in season 5, as the opening 5 minutes are already teeing up a greater connection between those two characters, but we'll see. A Demogorgon then drops in the tunnel right in front of Erica and Derek, with the next shot showing what looks to be another Demogorgon dropping in front of Lucas, and Lucas is either stuck between two Demogorgons or a Demogorgon and a dead end. He's wielding a crowbar, so he has some sort of weapon, but this trailer and all the other trailers have certainly framed him to be the major death, and at this point I have to say he's probably a red herring, right? Like, I don't think they're gonna kill Lucas, but they've certainly framed the marketing to say, hey, Lucas is toast. A lot of deaths would hurt this season. Whoever it goes, it's gonna hurt like hell, but Lucas in particular would almost be unfair and cruel, especially because he's been by Max's side this entire time while she's been in a coma, so to kill him would almost be heartless. Using a shot from the past trailer, we see the Demogorgons raising hell on downtown Hawkins as Will is being held up by Joyce and Mike. Mike is then shown saying boom over the radio as he's with Lucas.
Boom.
And the outfits they're wearing as he and Lucas ride their bikes away from the radio station, and past footage matches with their outfits here. In the teaser from July, Mike is heard on the radio saying burn commencing in 5, 4, 3, 2 as Joyce, Will, Elle, Nancy, and Robin all listen in from the radio station. And this has me thinking this is all episode 1 stuff, and the countdown's leading to a big explosion or build up to setting off the radio wave signals, calling back to Steve and Dustin, who we know are camping out in Steve's car. But it's all probably part of one big plan with character grouping spread out, including Hopper and Elle in the Upside Down. The trailer's actually edited in a way to show the next shot after Mike says boom to be 2 soldiers or scientists burning the gate outside of Hawkins' library, but I feel like this could actually be another part of the show, and that's just trailer trickery. We then get a reused shot from the official trailer of an explosion at the base during the Demogorgon attack. Erica is then shown and gets a line as she says time's up and clicks her timer on her watch, and you can tell she's talking to Lucas and Mike in the hallway of Hawkins' Middle here. This calls back to the shot from earlier in the trailer and Mike saying we have a plan, and it has me thinking Erica won't be involved initially. Against her will, she might get looped into whatever plan this is. It almost seems like Lucas and Mike are recruiting her or maybe others to join them. Kind of reminds me of how Dustin and Mike were trying to get someone to join them for the Hellfire campaign in season 4, which ironically enough resulted in Erica joining them for that.
If I played, if I get one of those cool t-shirts.
A recycled shot of Dr. K, played by Linda Hamilton, is shown. I wonder who this character really is and what her backstory is. Is she somehow related to Brenner? Who the hell knows? New footage of Hopper is shown as we see him saying, we gotta go, with him and Elle in the Upside Down and the mysterious wall behind them. But he's looking ahead at something, and I'm wondering, could this be that explosion that we see ripple throughout the sky? The one that originates from Hawkins' lab? Because we've seen Hopper and Elle standing by the wall looking up at that explosion as it happens in the official trailer, so I'm thinking that's what it could be. We then see the official trailer shot of Elle running and jumping over the fence, seemingly into the military base facility in the Upside Down. Then we get to the final money shot moments of this Volume 1 trailer. Nancy and Jonathan are shown in the back of Steve's car as Nancy says, do it, just like in the trailer. Steve floors it as we see a shot of his car driving head-on with headlights flickering, indicating that we're near a gate. Dustin and Jonathan are both freaking out, and Steve's like, I got it, I got it. I got it. And they just barely make it into a gate that's closing, but not without losing a side mirror. And if you pay attention, the gate they're driving into appears to be on the side of some sort of silo or mill, on farmland, mind you. And if you remember to nearly 2 years ago now, the Stranger Things writers' Twitter account were putting out these pre-viz gifs of out-of-context moments from season 5. One of them involved Dustin, Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy all riding around in Steve's car, freaking out, and it was labeled McCorkle Farm, so this is where we could be in this moment. If you remember in season 2, Dustin gets off the phone with Mr. McCorkle. Not really, it was a fake phone call.
Thank you so much, Mr. McCorkle.
But he was saying that, oh, Mr. McCorkle spotted Muse the cat, who we know to be dead. Of course, Dustin does too, but he did this to comfort his mom so she could go search for him while Dustin handled Dart at the house. But I was just thinking that could be a fun callback, McCorkle Farm. We also know, of course, there are tunnels at the farm in season 2. Nothing new. They're going to be reactivated. We could be going back to old locations from seasons past here. But that brings us to the end of the Volume 1 trailer. We end with a classic Stranger Things moment, characters freaking out as Steve says, I got it, I got it. And that's what I loved about this trailer is, yes, it was epic, it felt very final, but at the same time, it had more characters speaking, We got more of a feel of the character dynamic and what's at stake. Still Stranger Things at its core. Yes, it's going to be the biggest it's ever been in scale and probably dark, but it's going to have a healthy balance of the classic heart and humor of the show as well. It's not going to lose its identity in the scale. But that does it for the Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 1 trailer breakdown. Let me know in the comments down below your predictions based on everything in this trailer, and of course subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want some film stocked merch, be sure to get it linked down below. Any support means a lot. I've never really done a merch drop like this, so I'll be promoting it. It'll be on sale through the rest of the year essentially. There's a Black Friday sale coming up. It's a good Christmas gift, so consider showing some extra support and representing this awesome design put together by Firefly Shop. Again, that is linked in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. But that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys for watching. As always, stay tuned for a busy week. I got lots of coverage for Stranger Things. I'm reacting to all 4 episodes, breaking it all down. I have a live stream coming on Wednesday as we gear up for those episodes. More details to come, but I'll be streaming for hours on this Wednesday, so mark your calendars. And I'll have, of course, just lots of videos in general. It's going to be a madhouse, a whirlwind of a week, and I wouldn't have it any other way, so stay tuned for everything to come here on the channel. But thank you guys as always, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.